Yes, they're shooting from I think their barracks or something. See, they come for the war. They come for the war. Put your head down, everybody head down. Head down.
Jesus.
Look at gunshot wound. Straight bullet. Let's take it to the hospital. This Lekki. Listen up, please. It's morning. We're wearing the same clothes, same matter, different day, but it's from last night. There's no curfew right now. It's morning, and they are not even shooting up. They're shooting straight bullets at us. They are positioned by the side of Lekki Expressway, and we're taking some guy to the hospital right now. Please, I'm begging you guys. I'm begging you people, with everything that we have. Look, there are people here. We are not enough. We need more people. We need more people. We need known people. We need support. You need, look. They're still shooting even as we're going back. You can hear the bullets, so please, we need to come out. Nigeria, these men will do whatever it takes, whatever is in their
Hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, our viewers, our fans, stakeholders that join us on Africa Rise with Susan West. It's another Sunday, but today we're not in a very celebratory mood because the world knows what's been going on in Nigeria. We are in mourning in Nigeria, and we have lost very, very young men and women to the bullets. And so we are in mourning. Today on Africa Rise, we are dedicated to talking about the issues of the EndSARS protest, what went down and how it got to this point, and of course, try to pick on the beautiful mind of our guest today on the way forward. Our guest today is Dr. Charles Apoki. Without talking too much or taking too much of your time, I will quickly bring him on screen. Welcome, Gloria Orisha. Thank you, Early Bird. Thank you so much. And remember, please, as you join this broadcast, share this broadcast. Create watch parties so that a lot more people can join. As you create watch parties, a lot more people will be watching from your watch parties. And of course, in our usual manner, send in your comments and questions if you have any, okay? Hello, Dr. Apoki.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome to Africa Rise.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. You know, I have become one of your latest fans after watching you talk about the modus operandi of the Nigerian government, and to our greatest amazement, you were spot on. Today's topic is the protests, the EndSARS protest in Nigeria, the killing of the Nigerian youth, and the way forward. So first, I want to ask you, how were you're not a prophet, of course, how were you able to just analyze the situation and tell us what is going to happen?
Okay, you know, I'm a clergyman and a medical doctor, but I'm not a prophet. I I have been studying revolts, protests, not only in Nigeria, but in different nations. I studied the one of the Shah of Iran and the Iranian Revolution and Ayatollah in France. I looked at the one, the Arab Spring and several other nations. Then I've chronicled protests in Nigeria from the time when I was a student in the university. I got into the university in 1979, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, and I left in 1984. I've chronicled protests, different protests, and the response of the oligarchy to protests in underdeveloping nations. There are developed, middle-income nations, developing nations, and underdeveloping nations. That are nations that are going down from where they used to be, pedestal they used to be. And you can always predict their reactions. So and I have a master's degree in public administration, so I know how to.
Okay, Dr. Apoki is frozen.
Study phenomena, and I know the actors have really not changed. You know, Buhari has been there and all that. The actors have not changed. So, and human beings hardly change. Most human beings are easily predictable. So you can, from a sociological point of view, historical point of view, predict human behavior. Right.
Absolutely. They say you cannot learn to use your left hand at old age. So who you are is who you are. Nothing will actually change. Thank you guys for joining. As you join in, please create watch parties, share this broadcast, invite your friends, because we want the world to know what is going on. Of course, with beautiful minds like Dr. Apoki, we want to begin to understand where we go from here. So now we're here. The young people of Nigeria have protested. They made an impact without violence. Unfortunately, we see what has gone on, but in my opinion, what has happened so far with the lootings, with the so-called hoodlums who have taken over, would not have been the case if the army were not called in to begin to shoot and kill unarmed protesters. Now that we're here, what are we going to do now? It's expected of the youth of Nigeria to do next.
Hello, can you increase your volume, please?
Okay.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Increase your volume.
Right.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Lightly. Can you come up more?
Okay. One moment. Working on it now. Is it better?
Hello?
Is it better?
Not really.
Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me? Anyone watching? Diane Megway Smith, Mazi, can you guys just type something to tell me if my audio is really low? I want to know where the problem is coming from. Is my audio okay for you guys watching? Okay, I think
okay. Can I come? Let me join you again.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Charles is going to take himself off the stream and come back again. Oh yes, thank you, Diane. Yes, I suspected so, because everything seemed to be fine here. Thank you, Priska. Thank you so much. So he's going to try to reconnect again. Greetings, Rahina Bello. I mean, I have been blessed. Thank you, Babatunde. Thank you, Eloho. Thank you, you guys. You guys are fantastic. I have been part of one of the protests on Wednesday in London at the Nigerian embassy. And one of the things the diaspora is saddled with now is that we have an opportunity to make our voices heard and not be threatened. That our lives will not be threatened. So we should take advantage of it. Everyone who lives in the diaspora, this is the time where we begin to become the foot soldiers for the people back home in Nigeria who don't enjoy the sort of freedom that we enjoy. So please, just as we wait to get Dr. Apoki back, remember to use your voice. Join the protest. I was supposed to be at the next protest I was supposed to be at was on Saturday. I particularly declined joining that protest. The reason is because when I tried to contact the organizers of the protest, I was told there was going to be a document that was going to be handed over to the British Parliament. And so I wanted to know, have some form of information. I wanted to see the content of what that document is. The reason is because I have come to the realization, and on this program I have mentioned the times with that number, it is high time that we begin to solve our issues ourselves. We are not ignorant of the fact that some of the issues we face are external factors, are things. I can see Dr. Apoki is back. Some of the issues we suffer is because of external manipulations. And so I needed to be informed as to what the content of that document is going to be. And they weren't able to get that document across to me on time. And so I didn't take that because I do not want a document that is, God knows if anything has been written, they're begging for interventions again. Let me bring Dr. Apoki back and we will continue. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead. You were talking.
So the issues in this country have been there. They are chronic issues, they are endemic issues, they are widespread issues in this country. And successive administrations, particularly those who came into power after the colonial masters, they became indigenous colonial masters. And you see, the Nigerian police force, the attitude of the colonial police of intimidating citizens, indigents, such that they are exploited for the empire that is colonizing, is nearly the same mentality that is on in Nigeria. But the key issues in Nigeria include the following. Number one, lack of value for human life. Lack of value for human life. I told somebody yesterday that the European cow, the EU, budgets $2.22 or $2.5 per cow per day in the EU. 40 to 60 million Nigerians live on less than $2, 1.9 something dollars. So 40 to 60 million Nigerians on daily basis are getting less attention than a European cow. So, and in Nigeria, even if you kill a cow, you might end up destroying a whole community. So the average Nigerian budget for health for the average Nigerian is less than $8 per annum. That's what a British cow will be given as subsidy for 4 days. So the value for human life in Nigeria is very, very minimal. That's why you can see rioters kill policemen, policemen shoot rioters. A colleague of mine, a nephrologist, was made to roll in the gutter, a medical doctor, made to roll in the gutter yesterday because he was going to work. He showed his ID card to a military personnel. The military personnel negated that, made a medical doctor to roll in the gutter until a senior military officer came and stopped that. All over, the issue is not about Buhari. The issue is not about North. The issue is not about Islam. The issue is not about Christianity. There are children writing on the floor around Nigeria in the 21st century. People have called me that I should be very careful the way I speak, that I can be targeted and all that, that I should be afraid. But let me tell you, Susan, I am only one sickness away from death. I am only one accident away from death. Somebody had intestinal obstruction. Do you know they couldn't do the surgery on time to transfer the person from one place to the next town to go and do whatever? This is intestinal obstruction I can do within 1 hour. do anastomosis within 1 hour. If I have regular electricity and whatever. A billionaire in Nigeria died because there was power failure in the hospital where he went for liposuction. So Dr. Apoki is only one accident away from death, is only one distance away from a trigger-happy policeman. So there is no value in this life here. We have reached a point we no longer fear death. Can you imagine that people were opening warehouses where there are palliatives stored, and somebody stored those palliatives, and people were hungry? If you go to parties in Niger Delta, you will see children picking food from the floor. When somebody said that Nigerians were eating from the dustbin, Olusegun Obasanjo said the person was a liar. David Mark said that telephones were not for poor people. I was in Addis. There's a part of Addis Ababa called the Nigerian quarters, near the Nigerian embassy, where the Nigerian embassy is. I was in a mud house built with fecal matter from cow dung. The house was built with cow dung. I saw landline in that house with pipe-borne water smelling chlorine. I can't remember when I smelled water with chlorine in Nigeria. It was in 1966. So Nigerian university students right on the floor. If you go to the barracks our policemen live in, they are like poultries. They don't have running water. Sewage is draining out. Nigerian policemen buy their shoes. They buy their uniforms. A fire service man called me after I watched my video that he buys his uniforms. He buys his. Can you imagine Nigerian soldiers crying for water in the desert? I mean, when they went to fight in Sambisa. So this value for human life is not there. Then there's this impunity. The impunity did not start today. If somebody will tell you, if I shoot you, nothing will happen. You can't tell a British citizen that. During Katrina, there was a general that went to Louisiana, and the soldiers were pointing their guns up, and he told them, put your guns down. You can't point guns at Americans. But here, one riffraff will tell you, we'll shoot you and nothing will happen. So there is this impunity. From governance, if a governor is driving in a convoy, some of these governors, a lot of these governors are my juniors. Ambode was my junior at Federal Government College, Warri. The one, Governor Kowa was in the same hall with him at University College Hospital. A governor was passing, one person, lunatic, will crack my windscreen, and they will just go on. I've seen British prime ministers go to see the Queen present the budget in that small box. They don't destroy the whole windscreens in the streets of London to reach there. So Nigerians don't value life. They don't value the Constitution.
Now I'm going to interject really quickly.
Yes.
Now, if people like David Mark, Senator David Mark, will say things like telephone is not for people. Now, let's use the example of what is going on.
Yes.
Now, the poor people who you have neglected and taken the commonwealth and enriched yourself have come out. Unfortunately, in no way am I, saying that it's okay for the populace to go into individual homes and begin to rob or loot.
Yes.
But you can see the consequences of neglecting the people who you're supposed to be representing. Yes. Now they're going into individual homes. I've seen videos of in Calabar where they went into a politician's home, and it was so heartbreaking to see the wife in her underwear or her sleeping wear coming out because they're robbing her home and someone tried to save her. These are the issues. How are we going to get to that point where these people really get the message that the power really lies in the hands of the people?
There is a secular musician that said, if you don't spread your wealth to the people, they will spread their poverty to you. If you don't spread your wealth to the people, they will spread their poverty to you. I detest violence. I detest looting. But the point remains this. The average, I went to Government College Ughelli, one of the best schools in the West African region as at that time, and even the Commonwealth, one of the schools, Princeton University. 2 students came from Government College to Princeton University, I think in 1961. The only school in the whole world. I had a swimming pool. I ate decent meals. They gave me tissue paper. I used tissue paper there for the first time. I went to FGC Warri. I ate Quaker oats. I drank milk. But my father was a refuse collector.
Wow.
At Government College Ughelli, I schooled with the son of the secretary to the federal government and head of service. I schooled with Jaja Wachukwu's daughter at FGC Warri. I schooled with Dutola's granddaughter at the College of Medicine. There's something called social justice. If we do not create a classless society, a society where equal opportunities, equal privileges, equal rights are given at the fundamental level, primary school level, secondary school level, university level. Today, one university where my friend is the provost of College of Medicine, 7,000 students applied to study medicine. Only 100 were taken. And those 100, apart from the merit list, the governor will bring his list, the king of the community will bring his list, the senator will bring his list. If I grew up in this generation, I wouldn't be where I am now. And my brain is very fertile. Somebody told me in South Africa, in Springs, that Dr. Apoki, you are a Nigerian criminal. I said, no. I see criminality is intelligence looking for an avenue in the midst of oppression and deprivation.
Wow.
There is intelligence, and there is oppression, and there is deprivation. You will see the criminal mind will manifest. I have a very fertile brain. If I did not apply to medical practice, I made 10 A's when I went to do masters at the age of 56. Wow. If I turned to a Niger Delta militant, this fertile brain will be very dangerous. It is because government in my time gave me a level playground to compete with the children of the elite, create an appetite for life and decency for me. Then I was able to maximize my talents and reach this level. I opened my first practice at the age of 29. I bought my first car as a youth copper. So if we don't, from the north to the south, let me tell you the hypocrisy in northern Nigeria. They can use the armed juries to rig election, to prosecute religious war, give them money to crack windscreens during protest in Abuja or whatever, and say it is a Muslim north. When COVID-19 came, they started deporting armed juries to their various states of origin. It was no longer north. Same thing in the south. We still deceive our people. We use religion, we use tribalism, but when they want to steal our money, they are the same. You see, so if the devil, a man called William Thayer, in his book, Gaining Favor from God and Man, written in 1786, he said the devil tempts everybody, but an idle mind tempts the devil. So when fertile brains, Nigerians are among the most intelligent human beings on earth. Go to Harvard University, go to Princeton University, Howard University. Nigerian girls won most of the prizes there. So when this intelligence is not harnessed, it is not given a platform, it is not given a milieu to grow, it becomes aggressive, it becomes destructive.
Absolutely. When the mind is fertile, it has. I wrote something last night. These people are called youth because they have an energy that has to be expended or expelled. And so if you don't create an opportunity for them to use it in a positive way to add to society, to development of society, definitely it will be used anyhow. And so, Dr. Susan Tata, I see you. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate. Princess Ivy, thank you for joining. So the truth of the matter now is, we have seen, we can use the Lekki toll gate protest as, to analyze the class differentials in our society. When they protested at the toll gate, there was peace, there was coordination, there was, you could see sophisticated young Nigerian minds. They helped. Yes, they helped each other. When one person had a problem, they were able to galvanize on the spot, solve that problem. So the fact that people were leaving their phones padding on the street and no one was stealing it. Now, what happened after the shooting? The other class came in. Those class of people are uneducated. Those class of people are very poor.
They didn't raid any bookshop. They didn't loot any bookshop because that class does not read.
Exactly. Now, I watched the video. I can't remember the name of the man. He said the next step for the Nigerian youth to take now is to buy these people over, to bring these people over, because if the educated, the middle class youths who are that sophisticated allow time to allow for them to be on their own, the politicians will take them over. So in your analysis, how is it that we're going to take it to that level where the educated middle class youth can go and begin to bring these people into their fold before the corrupt leadership take them over again?
Okay, the End SARS protest demonstrated the ideal that the Nigerian elite youths are looking for. You see Muslims praying and Christians standing around them. The Christians prayed. You saw food being shared. You saw the amputee money being contributed for her. You see the woman whose foodstuff fell down, money was contributed. You see a traffic policeman that was afraid that they will attack him, they gave him food and water, and the man shed tears. At the same time, in Fege police station, I must say this, there is this DPO Garuba, who, when the youths went there to burn the police station, when Garuba came out, because he is one of them, he plays table tennis with them in the stadium. He relates with them. He has no Igbo or Hausa. The people refuse to burn his station. There was a policeman that saved a woman from being injured by vagabonds. The youths carried him up. This is the hunger that Nigeria has. What do we do? The End SARS project protest had made a point. That is, it has woken the conscience of the nation if it is not too calcified to respond. Now, what do we do? Let the stars among them, Two-Face Idibia, Wizkid, Davido, AY, instead of the conspicuous consumption, they also display like musicians, like politicians. Let them establish foundations. Let them establish projects, scholarship. I give you an example. I had a church in my community that the women in the church, it will surprise you, were selling Indian hemp. There was a slave queen. My friend sent money, Salimo Wits Foundation sent money, and we taught them how to repair phones, produce snacks, make over, and all that. We taught them within 2 weeks. Within a space of 3 months, the income of the church went up 300%. The slave queen stopped slaying. The women selling Indian hemp stopped selling Indian hemp. You see, I did that in another community, my wife's community, Okokoko. And the boys, the man teaching them how to make phone and repair phones, they stole his jacket. Then when the boys got home, they started making money. One of them told him in Wari language, guy, this man will make us the chop so. You don't thief in his jacket, we go return him. That they will return the of the man who has put food on their table. So they took jacket back to the man who put food on the table. The rich amongst our society. You see Jimmy Carter, you see Sabanchi Foundation in Turkey, 5% of their annual tax of Turkey. Sabanchi Foundation has 27,000 citizens on scholarship. So the youth, instead of buying expensive wristwatches, expensive cars, even with the rich, instead of buying 5 Ferraris for daughters, which roads will they drive them? Which road, for God's sake? There was somebody with Rolls Royce in his house somewhere in Delta State. Flood covered the Rolls Royce. Instead of this conspicuous consumption that annoys the poor. The poor is angry with conspicuous consumption. Let's establish foundations. There are foundations all over America. There are foundations in the UK. There are foundations in decent societies that can take care of these people and make sure that they have something to eat. Let me tell you about this NSAS. I hate internet fraud. You understand? But one of the problems with the Yahoo boys was that there was this noisy, conspicuous consumption and all that. The people shooting them and extorting them. If you see the barrack the man is coming from, if you see where he lives, if you see his salary, if you know his salary, then he sees you with hair like periwinkle. There's nothing wrong with it. And you are driving an air-conditioned car and he's in the sun and he wants to train his children too. There's this aggression, this unexplained aggression that the society in Nigeria is not conscious of. So we must diffuse this tension in such a way that we bring not food palliative, they will eat that and that will end up in the WC. We need deliberate attempt. We also need to talk about our police welfare, set up foundation for our police, set up a foundation for injured veterans and wives of veterans and their families that are killed during war. When we set up foundation, the police will see you as their friend. Don't expect friendship to come only from the police. Let us contribute to the friendship with the police.
Right.
So then when we do these things, then how come in Akuzu or one place in Anambra State, one man was killing people and throwing them into the river, and it didn't get to the...
And that man was a police officer.
The General of Police, no lawyer took these cases up.
Okay,
yes.
we're having a problem with your audio.
Our lawyers are such that we fought for the poor.
Problem with the audio.
We, Barrister Ikimi at Warri, take up cases of your press free, and we support such firms so that these things can be brought to the limelight. That will help in solving the problems of illegal detention of the youths, the financial challenges, the academic problems, and all.
Right. I totally agree with you. If any of you guys are listening somewhere, I will make sure that the few people that I can have access to, I will let them know this, have this information. I can see Dr. Apoki is frozen. Dr. Apoki, you're frozen. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try to see that once you're unfrozen, I will bring you back on screen. In the meantime, one of the solutions or one of the suggestions Dr. Apoki has given is that for us to bring, for the middle class youths to bring these people into their fold, one of the things we need to do is to set up foundations, especially the very successful musicians or artists in Nigeria. Instead of throwing monies and buying Lamborghinis and whatnot, we can begin to invest this money in foundations that will help educate these people, empower these people. That is one of the ways we can bring them into our fold, isn't it? This is the one thing the Nigerian government have failed to do. It is only when it is close to election period that they go and give false promises and which they never keep. So this is the time where we go and we begin to strategize and see how we can put monies together, set up foundations, take children from less privileged homes and put them through schools. You know, when we begin to empower them in this manner, this is one of the ways we buy them over. 2023 is not very far off. This is the time we begin the work of buying them over, not just buying them over, changing their mindset, educating them, empowering them. And so that before we get to the next electioneering season, we have a people who are ready, can stand and understand that they are not going to be used as tools to destroy their society. Dr. Apoki,
Yes,
sorry, we lost your audio wasn't so good there. I'll take quick reads from some of the comments we have coming in as we normally do. Somebody said the poor only loot Lisa Rofako says, the poor only looted after Lekki. They were angry. Let's not divide the youth. We're not dividing the youth. We're just trying to analyze. Babatunde Lisboa says, buying them over is the way, but may not be easy, though possible. Of course, it is possible, especially with the suggestion that Dr. Apoki has given. I mean, the best way to get to anyone's heart is by helping them solve their problem, isn't it? And instead of giving them food all the time, they're going to be hungry the next minute. You're not going to keep giving them fish. When you teach them to fish, you help them, you elevate them away from that poverty that has blocked and blinded their minds and eyes. So, Dr. Apoki, please go ahead. In your wisdom. Go ahead.
We cannot afford. I saw the president of Spain in a supermarket. He wore shorts with t-shirts, no guards. He was on the line. We cannot afford to spend 25% of our GDP on the political system. Number one of the reasons Nigeria is poor is that too much money is budgeted for elections, budgeted for the legislative arm, or from the local government to the first tier, the peak of governance, for the presidency, for all that. Let us reduce the cost of governance and electioneering. You cannot fight corruption without reducing the cost and the benefit of politics. Number one, let the 6 geopolitical zones, if you go to my blog, Dr. Apoki's blog online, you will see the new narrative. Let the 6 geopolitical zones produce 1 president each. Let's have a presidential council. Let's not have national parties. The Northeast will have their own parties. You have Scottish Party in the UK. Let them have their own parties, Scottish National Party also. Let them have their own parties there. Elect their president in the Northeast, Northwest, North Central, Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. Don't leave Kano State to come and campaign in Delta State. Keep your campaign there, so you will spend less money.
Right.
You don't even understand our problems. So when we have this 6-member presidential council, that the elections will be conducted for them by INEC and the past presidents and vice presidents. They will now rotate the presidency among themselves for 12 years. So we don't need to do elections for 12 years, but in that 12 years, an Igbo man will have become president. So you won't start saying an Igbo man has not become president. A will have become president. A South-South man will have become president. 12. Now, give each of these presidential council members 1 portfolio each. The ones they call JUIC in Nigeria: works, petroleum resources, defense, internal affairs, external affairs, and 1 other ministry. So 1 person cannot corner all the portfolios to himself. So we have a uniform spread of power. If a presidential council member is not functioning well, his people from his area have a right to withdraw him. So if Goodluck was not functioning well, we can say, Goodluck, please come back home. And we send somebody there. Let's have a unicameral legislative arm. The word is House of Representatives. That is, they are representing us. Since we have a presidential council, that will act as the Senate for us. Let's have 1 camera house. Let's cut down their salaries. Barack Obama pays for the food. Donald Trump pays for the food he eats in the White House. The budget for cutlery in Aso Rock will blow your brains. The budget for cooking gas, sometimes I wonder whether they have elephant for breakfast. So you will now reduce the cost of governance. And it is even possible to have the legislative arm sit part-time. Don't give them constituency projects. Constituency project is for governance. Then at the regional level, they have their own parties. One thing we must do in this country to make this country change. You know, in the UK, you have local parties in different roles and all that. That somebody is elected not based on the money he has in his hand, but by his character and his capacity and his contribution to society. Let's have a national body to conduct elections. Even at the local level, when states conduct elections, they bring their cronies and their parasites and their girlfriends and their in-laws to come and run this country, where people like me as citizens, I am too intelligent for some of the people ruling me. In that instance, when politics become less attractive and less creative, only the best will come out. Vote buying will not be there because the man wants to make profit. There's no reason why legislators should be doing contracts. There's no reason why legislators should be sharing palliatives. The states should share palliatives.
Absolutely.
Once we now have politics less competitive, less of winner takes it all, you will see that this country will stabilize. Each region will develop their own area at their own pace. And the people will hold their elected officials responsible for their underdevelopment. Go to Ebonyi State. I went for missionary work at the border with Cameroon, and I was coming back. I could not believe that I was passing through Abakaliki. Street lights, screeded flyovers with artificial grass. Beautiful police cars like the ones I've seen in any developed country in the world. Clean streets. This was Ebonyi State. At one time, the governor was living in Enugu. He wasn't living in the state. So by the time we can categorize resources that these regions and states can control, because the next crisis is that the Ijaw boys, those of us in the Niger Delta, are already asking, Governor Wike has already asked, if a state can sell gold of 5 billion to the central bank, boy, let us be refining our oil and be selling.
But that is the truth. That is the truth, Doctor. Dr. Apoki. I made a blog concerning that because I was so fumed when I read that. As much as I am a detribalized Nigerian, I felt so insulted. How dare you publicly? You like it was. You know, like the governor didn't even feel like it was going to annoy any Nigerian. Like they have the right to take their gold, sell it to the CBN, but then you take the oil from the Niger Delta region and you allocate what you want to allocate to us, and the environment is degraded. If you go to Port Harcourt, they're suffering from suits, you know, where people are breathing in all sorts of things they don't even know. There's going to be, in a few more years, there's going to be a lot of issues with kidneys and lung problem. You're a doctor, you know that. So let me quickly take a short read from some of the comments coming in. I have Tito Aketi says, NSAS protest has shown that the much needed reformation of Nigeria rests with the youths. The politicians, old breed, have failed woefully. I truly believe that Nigeria has a great future, especially as these class of individuals gradually ascend leadership roles in Nigeria. I agree, but again, most of the people we have in positions of authority all came in as youth. If you would describe youth as up to 30 or 35, because a lot of them came in at age 29, 30, up all the way up.
Go on, wedded on the throne.
Right.
Jete Speak was about 25, 27. And now remote motion for the independence of Nigeria at the age of 27. So, but they will tell you no opportunities. By the time they adopt this my system, you will see that you don't just take somebody from nowhere, make a governor. You don't just take somebody from nowhere to the House of Representatives. Barack Obama did communal work before he became president. Yes. He was first a senator in Illinois before he became a national senator and before he became president. We must give these youths the opportunity to go into politics, hold offices from ground level to the higher level. My son told me that the problem with Africa is that parents run with the baton of leadership and business until they collapse. The children will now run there. They don't know whether to resuscitate their father or mother or to run with the baton. If you look at Paul Biya, they carry him with wheelchair to go and vote. You look at all over the Africa, you see that when they go to the United Nations, they fall asleep, either from jet lag or old age. Even in the Senate, what am I doing? Somebody at my age, what am I doing becoming a governor? I need to enjoy my retirement. I don't want to be riding. I don't want to be riding in Syria at this age. I will have.
You know what? You can say that. Do you know why you can say that? Because you're that sophisticated intellectually. Because you know that you don't need to be elected into office to go and steal. Because literally, what these people have turned it into is they're not carrying guns, going out to door at night to rob. But what they're doing is literally robbing the people of their life, of their future, of their destinies. Washington Stanley says confederation system as practiced in Switzerland is the only way out. I don't know. He also goes ahead to say that matter of urgency, salary reduction.
Yes.
Now, you know, when you were talking, there's something I wanted to say. When you were talking, I wanted to ask, where at this point now, you've proffered solutions, suggestions to what could be the way out. In how the middle class young people can buy over the people who live below $1 a day in society. You've talked about how they can start foundations instead of splurging their monies on all sorts of things, buying cars and wristwatches and all these things. You've also come up with this suggestion on how we can do these take elections every 12 years for every 6 geopolitical zones. I'm not sure a lot of people will agree with you because they're going to think it's going to take a lifetime before it comes, depending on the tenure that it's agreed, of course. Now, I wanted to ask you, shouldn't the youth now, because you said, yes, that's what I wanted to say. You mentioned that we should give the youth the opportunity. We know that they will never give the youth opportunity. They don't want to give youth the opportunity. How do the youth now take what belongs to them? Can they? I was suggesting that they should go and form a political party, getting ready for 2023.
Yeah. Let me comment. 2 issues. The youth alone cannot solve the problems in this country. The youth cannot build public schools. The youth cannot build lecture theaters by themselves in universities, though they can contribute money. Chris Oyakilome built an engineering faculty in Benson Idausa University. I think Ebeyomi built something somewhere. The clergy can do that. The clergy can build schools. The irony, I'm a clergyman. The tragedy is that the schools with people contribute money for us to build, the children of the poor cannot attend those same schools that their denomination built. It aches my spirit. I run a school, but I built it with my money. But I practice the base of the pyramid theory. By the time the school fees is low, all class of people, princes attend my school, children of policemen, doctors, lawyers, ophthalmologists, specialists, civil servants, they are able to pay because it is moderate. I built it with my money. I am not desperate. Now, let me quickly say something I forgot. The reason I can talk like this, I owe Nigeria. Most of these young men looting and burning and destroying things, they don't owe Nigeria. We have not done anything for them. They don't have electricity. They don't have water. When I was at Federal Government College, Warri, I had somebody coming from Central African Empire to school, Federal Government College, and they paid our transport fare back home. Back home to the north, to the south, to the east. So I am indebted. If I carry my students on my back, during school period when we were admitted. It's because my mother carried me on her back.
Wow.
When to old age, I was a big boy. But that thing remains in my mind. So when I carry my granddaughter and carry my school children, I'm paying back. Most of the young men today don't have what to pay back. So the youths need to organize themselves into political parties, but they must not allow my wicked generation. My generation is evil. My generation is wicked, heartless. We got the best of this country. If not for this country, I wouldn't be where I am now. I was an Indian, I will caste system. My father was working in the burial ground. I would have been of the lowest caste. I'm talking to you internationally now. People have been calling me all over the world. It is because somebody gave me sound education. When we remove these monies and do all these things, the youths must also learn that power is not given as a gift. It is deliberately taken. Because power is authority. According to David Easton said power is authoritative allocation of resources. Harold Laswell defines politics as who gets what, when, and how much. So the youth should not think that my generation, I'm not a politician, I've never been a politician, I've never done contract, I don't run after politicians, that's why I can talk like this. My generation, greedy, wicked generation, cannot give you this country in a platter of gold.
No.
The people who even got independence from the British did not get it in a platter of gold. When I see Nigerians go to South Africa and misbehave, those people fought for their independence. Maybe we got our own too easily. I'm not talking about xenophobia now. Blood has been shed, agreed, very painful, but there cannot be the delivery of a baby without pain. There cannot be the delivery of a big baby sometimes without cesarean section. There cannot be the delivery of a baby without tear and episiotomy. The deaths, unnecessary deaths we have experienced are the birth pains and the bloodshed and the water, amniotic fluid that needs to burst out, membranes need to burst out to deliver the new Nigeria. I want to see it in my lifetime. I want to enjoy my old age. You see, I'm talking with you now. It's not public power supply. It is solar. How many poor people can afford solar? I was in Madagascar, the Morandova is 11 hours by road from Antananarivo. There was no blinking of electricity for the 11 days I stayed there. I've been to South Sudan, the remotest part of several African nations, to do missionary work. Electricity does not blink. I don't know if the average Nigerian even hears well because of the noise of generator. So until we start to do some of these things as government, this nation, the youths, can never stand by us. I've preached in several army barracks around the country. So then one other thing, the youths must know that our time is going. We are the departure lodge. They are the people who have to pilot this nation. They should know that poverty does not know Hausa, poverty does not know Nupe, poverty does not know Fulani, poverty does not know Yoruba or Urobo, where I come from. Poverty is a blanket. Poverty does not know APC. They recently increased the electricity tariff. Did they check for political cards before increasing the electricity tariff? They recently increased petroleum pump price. Did they ask whether you're APC or PDP or Fulani or Kanuri or Funfude? No. The youths must realize that my generation thinks that they are stupid. They've made their point. And my generation should know that if we don't take care, these children cannot allow us to get old age in peace. We can train our children overseas, but they will not come back and drive an overseas road here. If they come for our burials, and these children who are begging money now, if we don't provide employment for them, they will kidnap our children.
Absolutely.
Our children will not come from overseas because before they come, we have arranged NNPC and one place to hide them, do nepotism, build one business. They will not go to private markets. Some illnesses that will happen, they cannot fly to the airport before they die. You saw how Abakari died. You saw how a governor's daughter delivering in a hospital died recently, former governor. Prove that you are a second-class citizen in Europe, America. They just want to steal our money and bring to them. Do you notice that CNN, they were asking somebody on CNN, he said Nigeria is not a priority.
Absolutely, I heard that.
It's only a crazy man that will steal his father's wealth and then use it to develop another man's nation. I'm always very angry when Nigerian politicians go and celebrate their mother's birthdays in Dubai. Dubai was just a fishing port where they were diving for pearls until recently. The same oil money that Nigeria has received is the same money Europe received for the Marshall Plan. And we are going to borrow money from China. Which day did Chairman Mao die? When Chinese were riding bicycles in the street of, then it was called Peking, now it's Beijing. That we are going to borrow money from China and mortgage the future of our children to do roads that look as if they use crayon to paint the roads.
Wow.
Only one rainy season the road is bad. Boy, I don't understand. The youth must insist on, let me tell you one tragedy. You want to do a road in the Niger Delta. It is the youth that will come and meet a contractor to bribe them before he does the road. So if the contractor has bribed you, why will the contractor not steal money from the contract or even abandon it? SARS is in all of us. When you are building in the Niger Delta where I come from, you will see a young man come and meet you that is collecting development levy. Development levy, me coming to develop your environment. You want me to pay to develop your environment? Is that not insanity? Our youths are ready to drive a company away because it didn't give them money. I wanted to do a project in a community where somebody close to me comes from. Because of the troubles they gave to me, I stopped the project at a certain level.
Which is what happens a lot of times. Development is coming, but it boils down to the same thing we're talking about, because the people who are stopping you are ill-educated. They are illiterate. Yes. They are people who are not exposed. And because they can...
Let me disagree with you there. You will see that poverty is not the absence of money. If it is by education, Nigeria will be one of the most developed nations in the world. Our military went to Sandhurst in the UK. The Nigerian family has more PhD holders and graduates per family than any family in the United States. Nigerians went to Princeton, Cambridge, Stanford, Oxford, but there is a problem with the Nigerian mind. There is a vacuum in the Nigerian mind. Lord Lugard wrote about it in 1922 in his book, The Dual Mandate. He said we like fashion, we like pleasure. The fashion, even if it is uncomfortable, look at the simple dress you are wearing. We like fashion, even if it is uncomfortable. We are not frugal. The average Nigerian, but no matter how educated, the education that we need is a washing and setting of our brains so that we can put a new hairstyle. How can somebody who is a tenant carry a Brazilian weave-on of 250,000 on a coconut head? 250,000 is 100 bags of cement, is 4,000 blocks. 4,000 blocks are the blocks for a 3-bedroom bungalow, and he's a tenant. How can a Nigerian park 3 cars in front of another man's building? How can a Nigerian go with a convoy of 3 cars to go and preach while the Prime Minister of the UK that is retired enters tram or enters the tube? There is a vacuum in the mind of, even if he lives in the UK, immediately he reaches Nigeria, he behaves like an idiot.
Absolutely.
I believe that the first 5 years of our education in Nigeria should not be for positions, and even the university is not for DY, DX, find X. There's no X in our streets. What we need is a mental overhaul of the average Nigerian, his values, his priorities, and all that. Look at what I'm wearing. I'm talking to you globally. It doesn't make me. What makes me is here.
Absolutely.
The video I recorded was in my farm. Outside here, and I have cucumbers I harvested from my farm. Did I do decoration? Did I do an altar? Did I do lighting? No. It was what is in my mind that people are sharing around the world. Until you see somebody want Big Brother Africa, they are donating money to him. A first-class graduate from a university was given 10,000 naira by a bank, and they put the check on a piece of paper that looked like a bed sheet, just 10,000 naira for bread. So until our values change, how can a Nigerian be marrying the daughter's age mate? And what are we pursuing? So
mindset change.
It's not
change.
Mindset, paradigm shift in our mind.
Paradigm shift in our minds. Absolutely. You know what? You mention, we're rounding up now because we're slightly over an hour already. You made mention about what South Africa went through. Blood, people were killed, people gave their lives. Now Nigeria have gotten to that point. With the killings that happened in Lekki, with the massacre, whatever it's going to be called, we know that lives were lost. Innocent lives were lost. We have given the sacrifice of blood.
Yes.
How do we now make sure that those people who gave their lives, those children who rendered their lives for us to be free, is not wasted, that is not in vain?
I made an appeal to the president in one of my videos before he sent the military out. I made an appeal. Number one, there was no empathy in the president's speech.
Not at all.
We must ensure that any police officer that commits crime, American soldiers committed crimes in Afghanistan or Iraq. They were tried in America and sentenced. We must make sure that impunity is dealt with in this country. As the Lekki one is video recorded, the one taking place in Katsina, in Kaduna, Christians being killed all over the place, people being raped and murdered, they are not in the news. It is maybe because the elite were affected and there was social media. There's killing and death all over Nigeria. Number one, some people have to lose their jobs for incompetence. If those people lose their jobs, it will become a benchmark that if you are not performing well, you will be removed. Number two, the president has to come out and say never again. If he says never again, and then you compensate the families that lost people and start to put definitive actions into place. Buhari is at the verge of history that he's supposed to maximize, like as Gorbachev did in the Soviet Union, when Reagan told him, tear down this wall. And the youth tore down the Berlin Wall. The legislative arm should see beyond the salaries they are earning and the comfort of their offices and think about the future Nigeria. Start legislative processes to stop the impunity in this nation in such a way that they deliberately be the generation of politicians that midwifed the new Nigeria. Call the youths. Don't bribe them. Don't do like youths earnestly ask for Abacha. Don't do like the one Igbokwe with psychophancy wanted to go and do to please Buhari. That's a stupid behavior. Nobody called you to come and organize 1 million miles to support Buhari. Buhari has supporters who voted for him. And you're just a minority. Let's take a situation, a stand in such a way that Buhari himself will come out, address the youth, give them hope, we should not only throw money at problems in Nigeria, set up institutions that can overhaul this country, speed up the constitutional review, not only by politicians. These ideas I've suggested can become national ideas, and then build a new nation step by step. He must be seen to be sincere. The youth feel that my generation are very insincere. That's why they don't trust anything. That's why the protest lasted long. If Osinbajo had gone with a helicopter and landed there, went with Sanwo-Olu, went with other Yoruba leaders and spoke to them, please leave this gate. We are going back with your demands. If we don't perform, hold us responsible. Don't welcome us back here. You will see that the youths will have left the toll gate. Frankly speaking, I pray earnestly that this is the last we will see in this kind of atmosphere. I condemn the looting. I condemn killing policemen, a man who wore uniform to protect us and serve our nation. I condemn killing soldiers. I also condemn killing peaceful protesters. If power cannot change peacefully, definitely it changes violently. We are tired of violent change of government in Africa. Let's transform Africa, transform Nigeria peacefully and with a reasonable mindset. We can't take our youth and take the populace for granted again. For an Oba's palace to be invaded in his domain, it speaks of a disconnect.
Absolutely. People have lost respect for even the monarchy that we used to revere.
Not only the monarchy, for people like me in the church, they've lost respect for clergymen.
Absolutely. And that's a breakdown. That's a breakdown. Quickly, I'm going to ask one last question before we let you go. I watched a video of Kemi Olunloye. Is it Olunloye? She's a journalist. Yes. She's a journalist. Yes. Now, there was a time they were asking for who the representatives were of the protesters. Yes. And someone rightfully asked, why are you asking who represents them when they are representatives of those localities? Yes. At that point, a good thinking, the politicians who have the people at heart, the people who represent that locality, that constituency, would have come out and taken it on their shoulders to say they're going to become a buffer between the protesters and the government, isn't it? Now that did not happen. Her suggestion now is that we recall our representatives. We recall them because they have failed us.
You know, Olunloye has this passion that sometimes boils over. You see, we don't want to do whatever is happening now in a haphazard manner, create a lot of confusion. They have heard us. They have heard us. They've heard Nigerians. They are hearing elders. I'm older than most of them there. They are hearing elders like me talking. I think they will take it seriously. Let's put them under intelligent and strategic pressure. Let's remind them until their tenure is over. The problem is not them alone. The problem is also with us, with our clergymen. No clergymen really spoke anything tangible to, because we're just waiting for our offerings and our tithes and our cathedrals and all that.
That was very disappointing.
So I think that we should not do it haphazardly, forcefully. I chronicled the disintegration of Yugoslavia after President Tito died. You see, when a nation is like a cake, if you break it forcefully, there are so many fragments that you will not eat that will get lost. Let's do it peacefully, strategically. Let's put our people under pressure, hold them responsible. They have found out that there's a disconnect between them and their so-called followers.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. I'm done asking you questions. Just give your final thoughts, final thoughts on this program before we let you go.
They should not silence the voice of dissent and disagreement. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see the Dr. Apoki's theory of the balloon concerning political entities and organizations. As I'm talking now, I have brought out solutions. I have brought out novel ideas. When you start antagonizing new ideas because of the traditional paternalistic African mindset of not letting young people talk, but you can't operate your phone. It's my son that operates my phone for me. I can't operate the phone. So these children have grown. They have been exposed. They are the generation we treated with caution. Some of them have never been flogged. We should listen to them. We should parley with them. We should discuss with them, but we should not bribe them. That is what every person was scared of going forward and be accused of having taken money. So I believe in a great Nigeria. That's why I'm still here. I don't have any building anywhere. My children are all over Europe and wherever. I don't have another passport. I have a granddaughter. I want to let her know that I insisted for a great Nigeria, a peaceful Nigeria. I want to let the North know that poverty does not know geography. There is so much poverty outside the main cities. I want to let the oppressed know that don't be the people who will carry ballot boxes for your oppressors. That's Stockholm syndrome, where the oppressor becomes loved by the oppressed. Yes, and those state youths proved that they can do without some people. Oshomole became irrelevant. Tigers and lions that roared became irrelevant. And I want to thank the president for that first step he took in being neutral and conducting a peaceful election that the loser did not go to court. The president can write his name in gold. We can celebrate him as I celebrated him when I was 23 years old. We don't get old and become more difficult. Nigeria is 60. We cannot become a stupid nation at 60. Buhari, you have a chance in history to write your name in gold, that your children can befriend the generation that is protesting, and they can say you are one of us. God bless Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Apoki. We really appreciate you. We will make sure that we find way to bring you back here again on Africa Rise. These people like you, we want to hear talk.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Yes, guys, it's been very, very educative, incisive, very informative. I'm going to take quick reads here. Nisa Rofako says the protest should commence there. There are too many distractions. What do you mean? You mean the second phase of the protest, Nisa? Washington Stanley says the youth should go to their immediate constituencies and demand accountability from their individual government representatives now. Waiting for anything 2023 is to dampen their morals and subsequently expose them to temptations of bowing down again to these honorable criminals and thieves. Nigeria is obviously not working. Alona Onoha says, this guest is on point. He is on point. He is on point. I am quite glad that we were able to get him here. And we have seen what's been going on with the looting. By the way, I need to mention, I felt so insulted and offended when I heard Bola Ahmed Tinubu come out and talk like some god. He came out to talk nonsense that he's been sitting down there. I mean, it is so obvious that we know what the game is, but I don't know what it's going to take for these people to begin to get it in their skull that they are not gods and they don't have the power. What is it going to take to, the same way they brought Shomole down, they need to bring Bola Ahmed Tinubu down in Lagos, because that man has no empathy. He has no empathy whatsoever. He was showing off, talking about how his son is right here. The son they said was kidnapped. He's still the, whatever he called himself, the the Yoruba title, some title that he calls himself. Such shameless people cannot be allowed to be relevant in societies such as ours anymore. This is a time where we make sure that we make them understand that they are nothing but mere common criminals, because that's all they have shown themselves to be. They are criminals, people who take other people's children's lives with no remorse, no apologies, you know, because they think they can get away with it. The same way Oshomole has been silenced in Edo, Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to be silenced. I'm not saying anybody to go and kill him. That's not what my silencing means. It means that we make sure that he is no longer relevant in decision making or anything else. Washington Stanley says he's running around, but no rest for the heartless. Absolutely no rest. He will find no peace. He will know no peace, because we know, we don't have all the evidence, but we know that he was involved, because the Lagos State Governor, Sanwo-Olu, obviously is a stooge of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There is nothing that man is going to be able to do without getting some kind of command from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We know that. So he's going around because he's got all the money now, talking as though nothing is shaking him. But we lost children born by human beings. They have mothers, they have fathers, they have families that loved and cared for them. And he comes out with that kind of attitude. He needs to be taught a lesson. We need to make sure that he's no longer relevant. I'm looking forward to seeing the next stories that befall him and his what's the word now? His bloated ego from taking monies that belong to the people and enriching himself. It's so annoying. I want to quickly, for the sake of broadcast, I want to play these videos of people sharing the palliatives. Can you imagine how heartless human beings can be? They give COVID-19 palliatives. You told people to stay locked indoors for God knows how long. Still, what was the reason why they left? Why they locked away those palliatives? I don't understand. They want to come back and give it back to us during electioneering season and make it look like they've given us something. You know, they put food on our table. Otherwise, what were they giving all that for? Were they going to resell it? I don't understand.
Is this the government we vote for? Is this the palliative they promised they are bringing? This is Plateau State, Jos. Today's date is 24th of October. This is what is happening in Jos City. This is what is happening in Jos City. This is Jos City. You can see the masses. Everybody wants to get food to eat. What a government! What a government! Look how people are struggling. People are struggling to have food. Look at people. Okay, let's look at the hold up. Just take a look at the hold up of Plateau State today. No way entrance, no way out. Look at the hold up. Okay, let's look at the outside. If you're trying to go out from Jos City, can you see the hold up? Can you see the cars?
Now, this is what we're talking about. People are now staking their lives to get some of those things because people don't have money to take care of their families. COVID-19 hit everyone hard. And what the Nigerian government did was to store away, the politicians did, was to store away foods meant for the citizenry, you know. And Mercy Israel says, honestly, we need to bring people like Peter Side and Dr. Charles Apoki to be on the TV regularly to keep the youth focused on the steps to 2023. Absolutely. We will make sure that we keep bringing them back. And for everyone else who is watching, please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do so. It is _Susan West. If you haven't liked and followed us on Facebook, please do so. Just like and follow us. That's all it takes. Because the more people we have do this, the more we're able to get on into the algorithm, that more people are able to see our broadcasts. So please follow and subscribe to all our channels. It is _Susan West everywhere you go. Okay, this is a time where these are the mediums. This is the kind of medium that we can use to actually profile solutions that concern us. Especially the mainstream media is always going to be every mainstream media have some kind of agenda somewhere. They either for or against the government of the day. So when you want to really voice your opinion and not be censored or controlled, this is a platform that we have. We must take advantage of it and galvanize ourselves as Nigerians, as Africans, to make sure that we bring hold accountable all those who are placed in positions of authority to represent us. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on Africa Rise with Susan West today. I am really pleased that you made it. I feel really, really blessed, because I know that whatever that was talked about today is going to go far and wide, because a lot of people tuned in. Please share this broadcast even after the broadcast is over. Let other people watch and see. And let's keep the fire burning. Let's keep the fire burning. Regardless, 2023 seemed like it's so far, but it's not so far away. We must keep the fire burning. Thank you, guys, and God bless you. See you again next week, Sunday. In our usual manner, I will be announcing who the guest is going to be as we go into the week. Thank you so much, and God bless you.